Hello my viewers and welcome to Revit Structure 2026 tutorial for beginners. In this lesson, I'm going to take you step by step as a beginner, okay, from modeling all the way to the production of some decent, drawings in Revit Structure 2026. So what you are seeing here is what you get when you just double click your installation on your computer. Now you're not going to see exactly what you are seeing here, but obviously you're just going to see a few projects. Those are default projects. So now to quickly get started as a beginner, you just need to come to models right here and just click on new because you want to start a new project. Then from here, you have to pick a template to start with. Now, if I just expand, you see that I have metric and imperial. Now you can even load more templates to use by default. Okay, I'll just click there. And you see that we have English imperial templates. So if you're an imperial guy, you can pick any templates from here. I'm a metric guy, so just expand and go a step backwards, go to templates, and now you'll see that you have more templates right here. Now to go to metric templates, you need to go to English, this one here. If you want imperial templates, go to English imperial. So if I just double click here, you see that you have a number of templates. So now just pick the template according to the discipline. If you are doing an architectural project, pick a structural template. If you are doing architectural, pick an architectural template. All right. So now I'll go back a step. And from here, you see that I just have this template. Now, this template is just, my custom template. Go ahead and use the default templates. But why I want to use this one, because I've just changed a few graphics here and there. Maybe to be interesting, to you. So I'll select on it and just click on open. So from here, you are going to see it. Make sure that it's selected. Then ensure that new project is selected and click on open. Okay, don't worry about this. You are not going to see what you just saw. Okay, now from here, you can see that Revit, we have so many tabs. We have, architecture, we have structure, we have steel, and all these tabs. And we are going to touch some of them in this lesson. Now, to get started in Revit is very, very simple. You need to, you need to start with the levels. Okay, so to start with the levels, you need to go to any elevation. You see that if you are in plan view, and maybe let's go to structure, you see that if I go under datum, the level is deactivated because you have to be in an elevation view. So just click any of these elevations, just click one. So double click to open it. Double click quickly there, and you see that you now have the levels. And if I go to structure and under the datum, now I have the level. Let me just create a level, one level between and two more on top. I want to make this, very, very simple for you to follow along. So I'll just click on level. And now you just need to hover your cursor there. You can see that it's snap. Just click the first point. Maybe I want it to be at maybe a meter below. Okay. I'll just click the first point and the second point right there. Then right click and cancel. Right click and cancel. Now you're going to see that the other two are blue. This one is, is dark or black. The reason is that once you create a level, it will be added on the project browser. By the way, this is a project browser. This is a properties, palette. Okay. So we'll talk about this as we go on. A project browser is just like a table of contents. I like it calling it this way. So whatever you add here, obviously to be added on the project browser. As you can see, have level 0, level 1, have level 0, level 1, and also have level 2. Now, why we are not seeing level 2 under structural plans, under 3D views, or anywhere else here, it's because you can see that it's dark. Let's make sure that it's appearing here. We'll just go to view, we'll go to plan views, and we want it to sit under the structural plans. So we'll just click on structural plan. And you see that level 2 is appearing there. The others are not appearing. So make sure that it's moved out of this place. So select on it and click on OK. And you see that it will appear here. Okay. So now you can see that we have jumped to this particular level. To create more levels, just go back to south and you can see that it has changed. So I'll select on it. And now just click that symbol there so that you can see it properly. Let's create some more levels on top. Just go to structure. click on level, and let's have another level. I can watch the dimension and click the first point and the second point. Now, if you don't want to be going backwards there and go to view, you can just activate create plan view in advance. So you don't have to be changing the way I just did the one below. So just click there, go up there, make sure that it's 3 meters, click the first point, the second point. So right click cancel, right click cancel. I can counter check. This is 3 meters. Each time I click this, I can see the dimensions. You can see that it's 3 meters, and below there is just 1 meter. All right. Let me add one more level on top. I'll just click on level, just watch it from there, and make sure that it's 3 meters. Even if it's not 3 meters, I can click there and escape. Now I can select it. You see that it's 3.2. I can click that dimension and type 3000 and click outside. All right, so we are done with our levels. I can select on each level, hold my left mouse, I can expand it like that, but I think I'm okay with what I have. All right, now if you want to rename these levels, this is, anyway, I'm not going to rename it, but maybe let me just rename the last one here below. I'll just select on it, click on it once again, and I'll just call it TOF for top of footing and click outside. Now make sure that you click on yes so that it can be renamed here. Just click on yes. You see that now it has been renamed. Okay, so you can go ahead and rename all these according to your building naming. Right, now let's create our grids. So I'll just go to level 0 by double clicking under the structural plans. We have level 0 right here, and you can even see that the levels that you've opened, they also appear right here. So I'll just create a very simple structure for you to follow along. Just go to structure and click now under the datum, click on grids. Okay, the grids are similar to levels. Okay, so you can just check the options here and just click, pick the line, make sure that you are picking the line there so that you create a straight line. So I'll start with this one. I'll just click the first point and the second point, escape. Now just click on it. For you, maybe it can be any value here. It can be a number, a letter, as you are getting started, especially on a default template. But for me, I have that, but I can click inside and just put one there and click outside. So I have this one. I can select on it and create similar, or I can go to structure, grid. Let's have this one at 3 meters. Okay, maybe just want it to be at 3 meters. Just click the first point and the second point. Another one should be maybe at 4 meters. I'm just watching the dimensions. Click the first point and the second point. The last one, I want it to be at 3 meters, but you can just click anywhere and just change it later. Just click there, escape on your keyboard, select on this grid, and you can just type in the 3 meters that you want. All right. Now I can also select these grids because they are locked, and I can just drag it like that. Select this one and also just drag it like that. Now let me create, horizontal grids. I can go back to structure and click on the grid. I'll just have it from this point up to, maybe let me start it below, from this point up to that point, escape on your keyboard. Then I'll select this one. And now this is number 4. It has gone to number 5. I'll just change this one to A and click outside. Okay, now I can go back to structure, or you can simply select on it and type CS on your keyboard as a shortcut. Then I can just move there, watch the dimension. Maybe I just want this one to be 4 meters. Click the first point, just drag it there. Another 4 meters if I want. Click this point and the next point and cancel from your keyboard. Escape by escaping. So I can just drag it, and we have our grids right here. Okay, so now let's start the modeling. Okay, we are at level 1. Okay, and maybe we just want to have some concrete columns. So if I just go to south, let's assume that we just want to have some concrete columns from level 1 up to level 2. So I can just go to level 0. I mean from level 0 up to level 1. Just go to level 0 here. Now the concrete columns, very, very simple. Just go to structure and click on column right here. Okay, so if you click on column, you see that you are going to have now properties here. What do you want to create? You just need to expand there and see what you have by default. You see that you have the concrete columns. Okay, now you might not have what you are seeing here. You can just have one. For concrete columns, all you need to is to just have one here. Okay, because you can always rename it, resize it to whatever you want. So pick anything under the concrete, but the concrete column. So I'm just going to pick this one. Then once you do that, just click on edit. And now you can duplicate. Just click on duplicate and give it a size. Maybe this is just a name. I'll just call it 300 by 300 maybe millimeters, and click on OK. So you can see that it has been renamed here. These are type properties. So now the B and H, give it the actual dimension. So we have 300, even here 300. Then click on apply and click on OK. So now you have that particular column, and you can see that the others are still there, but the one you just created is right here. So now before you place it, make sure that you come on top here, set it to height because it's from level 0 to level 1. Okay, and you can see that we are at level 0 and now the top will be level 1. So this is done. Now come here and just make sure that you pick vertical column. You can get started by placing one by one. So I can just go there and click one, click one. But if I want, I can click on add grids and select all the grids like that. That is a preview. So make sure that you just click on finish now to add all those columns. Escape. Now, if I want to see these in 3D view, I can come under 3D views and double click on this one, or I can just click the little house right there. So let me just double click here. And once you do that, I'll just zoom in here. You are going to have the 3D view right there. And each view that you open will also open here. It's for easy access so that I can easily switch to what I want. Okay, so you can see that we have our columns, as you can see from here. Now, why you are seeing the color like this, for it may be different. Don't panic, the modeling and everything is the same. But I just, added some colors here. Maybe at the end of this, I'll also show you how you can change, to such graphics. So don't worry, just stay tuned on this channel and in this lesson. So we have those columns. I'll go back to level 0. We have those columns. Now, if I just go to south, we have these columns. Now, I just want to have the same columns all the way up to level 4. Now, I can go to level 1 and also model the same column, go to level 3 by just opening here, doing the same procedure, but I don't want to do that. The easiest, even as a beginner, is for you to select all these columns. I'll go to level 0, select all these columns. Okay, I've selected the columns from left to right. So what to be selected is what is completely covered within the box. So it's just the columns. So now once you select the columns, you just need to go to clipboard and just click on copy to clipboard. Okay, paste will be activated, expand it, and now click on aligned to selected levels. So I want to copy all the way up to, so I'll hold level 1, hold control, level 3 and level 4, and just click on OK. Now go to your 3D view and see that you have those levels all the way up to that particular level. So go to south, you see that you have it actually up to level 4. So maybe I don't need this one and it's still selected, or you can even select it by, just selecting like that and deleting from your keyboard. Go to 3D view and you see that you have your columns like that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create some of the beams. So I'll just go to, if I just go to south here, I need the beams at level 1, level 2, level 1, level, actually I skipped level 2. This is level 1 and level 3. Okay, so let me just rename this. I think I'll keep on, confusing myself. Double click inside there, change this one to 2, click on yes. Then go to this one, undo, Control Z to undo, click slowly, click again, then this one will be 3, click on yes, and then this one will be 4. Click there, click once again, and this one will be 4, and click outside and click on yes. Okay, now we have level 0 up to level 4 and also your F at the bottom. So I'll go to level 1 and let me have the beams. So I'll go to double clicking level 1 right here. I'll zoom in here. Now don't worry about the outer box. We'll talk about this now. To create the beams is similar with the column. Just go to structure, click on the beam, come to the properties and find any concrete beam. Okay. So under concrete beams, I'm going to pick any, select on it, then click on edit and duplicate it. And maybe let me just call it maybe, let's say 300 by, let me say 300. That is my width, 300 by 400 millimeters. And just click on OK. Now, this one is going to be 400. This one will be 300, and you can see it from there, and click on apply. Okay, now you are going to see it right there. All right, so now for beams, once you just open that particular level, that is where the beam will be placed. Then just come here and just under the draw, just pick a line, and you can just now pick from this point up to the other one. You see that it's going to cut, you need to restart, but if you don't want to do that, you can click on chain and just click on picking this one and that one, and you can continue. You see that it has continued because chain is selected, and they can continue picking like that. I'll escape first, go back to structure, pick on the beam. You see that it will pick the same one from here. Now I can also click on grids. If I pick on grids, it's just going to place on the grids, but where we have the columns. So I'll select everything like this. Actually, from now, the bottom right, so that the grids can be highlighted, then release your mouse. So you can add one by one, or you can select everything at once. And this is the preview. And now click on finish. So you can see that if I just escape, you can see that I have those beams. Okay, now let's check in our 3D view. You can see that we have those beams. I can also select these beams and now just scope using the same procedure, or you can just go to each and every level and start drawing the way I just did. So we went to level 2, we can go, we started with level 1, we can also go to level 2 and start drawing our beams. Now I'll go back to level 1 and just select these beams, select like that. Now you can see that under the properties, multiple is selected from here. So if you just want to filter the beams, just click on filter, check none so that the two boxes are not checked, and just pick structure framing. The beams are structure framing in Revit. Apply OK, and we have those beams. Now go to the clipboard and click on copy to clipboard, then click on paste and click align to selected levels. So the beams are at level 1, so just select level 2, hold control, level and level 3. Okay, and click on OK. Now go to your 3D view. You see that you have the beams all the way up to the top. Now I do not, okay, that is okay. I want the beams to go up to level 3. This is fine, and I'll click outside. So you can see that you have the beams and the column done just like that. All right. So let's proceed now with some, maybe if you just want some infill beams, or maybe we are going to demonstrate it for the steel beams. So now let's first of all add our floors. Maybe let me go to level 1. So I'll simply open level 1 here. Let me add the concrete floor here. I'll just go to structure right here, and now we have the floor. So we have dealt with the column, we have dealt with the beam. Let's deal with the floor now. So if you just expand there, of course we want the structure floor, just select on it. Now for the floor, it will sit on that particular level where I open, but the floor is quite different. You'll be in a sketch mode, so you have to sketch the boundary line, and now click on finish. But before you do that, again, go to properties and now pick the floor type that you want to use. I just want to make it simple. I'll just go to this generic floor. Okay, you can see that we have so many types. So just click on generic floor, click on edit, duplicate, and I'll just call it maybe 200 or maybe 150 millimeter and click on OK. You see that this is just the naming, but now you need to click on edit under the structure. Click on edit. You see that we have structure, and now just change the thickness right here. Depending on the floor that you have selected, you may have several, layers here, but we just have one. So this is 150 from there, and click on OK, apply OK. So we have it right here. Now from here, under the draw, it's a boundary. Make sure that it's boundary and just pick a line. You can start now drawing the boundaries for your wall. For your floor, just like that. Go to the next one. Why is it not snapping? Okay, I missed the point. I can pick this one. Okay, you can now click and continue clicking just like that to define your boundaries. You see, that is the whole point. So now I'll just remove this. What I want to use is to just use a rectangle and just click. It becomes easier because I can just click, because this is rectangular, or if it's a square, and just click that point and you have it like that. And another option could be, let me select everything, those magenta lines, and delete. Another option could just be to use pick lines, so that you just pick the edges. You can pick this edge, you can pick that edge, and now type TR on your keyboard to trim, or you can click trim from there, click there, and you can trim the edges. So just pick all those edges and trim. Okay, so I'll continue with this option. Just pick this one and pick this one, then TR on your keyboard to trim, and pick this edge, pick that edge, and pick the other edge, and now click on finish once you are done. Now I left a space deliberately. If you leave a space with these magenta lines, it will not allow you to continue. So I'll click on continue, otherwise you're going to quit. So I'll click on continue and just trim this edge, TR, or just click there, then trim the edge and click on finish. Okay, now we have our floor there. Click outside. Okay, let me go to my 3D view. You see that it looks nice. We have our floor there and the beams. Now I'll select this floor and again just copy it on top by just clicking on copy to clipboard. Click there, align to selected levels, and I'll just pick. Alright, there, level 1, we have it. So we just go to level 2, hold control, level 3, just the two, this one and that one, and just click on finish, and you see that we have those floors. Okay, it looks very, very neat. All right, so I think we now have to deal with the foundations. Now I'll just add the bases right there. Let me just go to south. Let me just add the bases here, right here, if you want. Or maybe let me add, because this is level 0 on ground, this is underground. So let me just select the columns. These are the columns I want to select. Now you have to pay attention here. The heights from all the levels above the ground is the same, but below is different. You can still copy, and you're going to see how you can modify so that it fits here. So I've selected everything here, but we have multiple categories. Okay, so I'll click on filter, check none, and just pick structure columns, apply OK. Now I'm going to copy these columns below. This is 3 meters, but I want to fit it within a meter. So again, I'll click on there, then paste, then align to selected levels. I just want to pick this particular level, and let me click on OK. Now, once you do that, don't worry about this. It's just a matter of setting now what is the top part of this column and what is the bottom part of this column. The bottom will be TOF, the top will be level 0. So the columns are still selected. You can deselect and select again and just come here now under the constraints. Each and every element in Revit is going to have a constraint. If I pick this particular column, let me select on it. You see that it has a base level and a top level. Base level is level 1, top level is level 2. So even these, I just have to change those constraints and it will fit there. So the base level is this one. Now remove the base offset, because the base level then it's offsetting below. Remove it and put a 0 right there. Then the top level has to be, just cancel there. The top level has to be level 0. So don't move in. Otherwise, if you move in, you're applying the settings. So before you move in, just put a 0 there and change this one to, let me cancel, or let me start by changing this one because it's at the same level. I'll take this one to level 0 first. Now that's when you remove the offset, put a 0 and move in. You see that it's going to adjust. Now let me quickly add now the foundation. The foundation, I'll just use pad foundation and sitting right there at TOF. So open that level, okay, right here. And now for foundations, just go to structure. Under the foundations, just go to isolated, click on it. Right here, again, just look out for any foundation, okay? As long as it's concrete, just look out for it and just click on it. Then click on edit and now size it. I'm just going to duplicate. Okay, now let me say maybe it's, I'll maintain the millimeter. This is just the naming. It's going to be 400, that is the thickness. I'll say 12 by 1200 by 1200, which is a 1.2. Okay, so that is my sizing. I'll click on OK. It has been renamed. Now change it to the actual thickness. This is 400. Okay, this is 12 and the length is 12. Then click on apply. Okay. Now watch out here. A foundation will sit right there on the level where you have opened it. So now the only thing you need to do now actually is to just place it here. You can just keep on placing by just clicking and make sure that the grids highlight. Now if I want, again, I can make it quicker by just saying add grids or add columns. So I'm going to use, let me try this time add columns, but this one, does it work for, okay, for structure columns? I'll select on it, add columns. Let me now select all these, release them out. So you see that where we have the columns, the bases will be there, and click on finish. Escape or just click on modify to escape your command. Modify is also an option to escape or just escape on your keyboard. Go to 3D view. You see that it looks very, very neat. So you can see that you have learned on how to do the foundation columns, beams, and the floors. Now let's also demonstrate on how you can add, the steel columns and also some beams, because it's a little bit different. I explained that for these, let me go back to any level. Let me go to level 1. If you're adding a beam or a column, if you go to structure, for example, it's a beam, you just need to make sure that you just find any beam here. As long as it's concrete, you can resize it. But for steel, it's different. You have to go to the databases. Now, let's assume that you do not have any concrete element here, whether you go to beam, foundation, or whatever, you can still load it and load just one. So if I just click there, maybe I want to load. You notice that each time you click on any option here, it can be a column, it can be a beam, you have this option called load. Okay, so if you don't have maybe the starting point in terms of the concrete element, you can just click on load there. You go to the library. Okay, now the libraries, you should have installed those libraries. If I just go down there and go to libraries, okay, I have a number of libraries installed there. So I'll go to English. And you see that again, I installed all these, okay? So make sure that you install these libraries. So maybe if I go to maybe UK library, again, I have a lot of things to check here. Now, just make sure that you counter check all these. You see that we have a structural foundation, structural columns, we have structural rebar, structural trusses. Everything sits here, okay? Whatever you're going to be modeling sits within your library. So I came here because I want to show you that, for example, you want to load structure column. I'll go to structure columns, okay? Now, under structure column, just like the beams, the bases, you have all materials, the wood, the steel, the concrete. So if concrete wasn't there in the first place, I could have come here and maybe I just want maybe a round column. I'll select on it, okay? And just click on open. All right. Oh, sorry. So if you make this mistake, remember I selected the beam, but when I went to the libraries, I think it's good for you to also learn something. If I pick a different category because I expected to open a beam, it will not allow you because you are trying to load something else, but the command here is different. So I'm going to, do you want to, the following are not of the category structure framing. Okay. I'll just say no. And now go back there, and maybe let me go back and now go to UK, and I want to go now to structure framing so that I pick the right category. Then I'll go to concrete, and I can pick, you have concrete rectangular. This is what I want. We also have all these, as you can see. So just click on it and open. Now it will allow you to load. Okay. So this is what you need to do. So now let's go to south and open level 3 right here, so that you see to even make much more sense as we do the steel. So let's assume here that we want to add about 6 steel columns here. So again, go to structure, go to column. Let's find what we are looking for here. For steel, it's a must. You have to go to your libraries, because obviously you're not going to find what you want. Okay, so if we go to universal columns, we have steel here, but for steel, you're not going to rename it. You have to load from the database what you're looking for. So let me assume that I don't have what I am looking for here. For the steel, I'll just go to load, then click that arrow and go to, it's a column, so go back to your library, and now I'll go to columns, structural. We have columns, these are architectural in nature, but go to structure columns, and we want now steel. Now you can pick what you want from here. You are obvious as an engineer or editor, you are familiar with some of these databases. I'll just go to British, and I just want a universal beam column. This can serve as a beam or a column, but I just want a universal column. Okay, I'm going to pick this one and open. Now you can now pick what you want. Okay, so maybe if I wanted this one at 254, I can open it and override. If it's still there, I can just override it. So this is how you can load from your library. So what I'm going to pick is, let me just pick a 203, and I'll just make sure that once you do that, now counter check here, we are at level 3. Okay, this is the level. We want to use the height all the way up to level 4. It's okay. So then go to vertical, make sure that you are on vertical, and let's try to make sure that both grids are highlighting, and click. You can see that we have the column there. You can continue, apply it here. Okay, you can continue doing that. Make sure that the grids are highlighting. Just click there, click here, and right here. Now you can see that we are seeing the column as lines. If you want, just click on modify to escape, come down here, click the detail level and change it to fine. Now you can see your columns like that. So you see that you have those columns. If you go to your 3D view, you see that you have those steel columns sitting on top. Okay, now let's add the beams on top here. Again, you just need to go to that particular level on top. If I just go to south here, you see that I need to go to level 4 to add my steel beams on top. So I'll just go to level 4. Okay, so it has opened here, level 4 right here. Change to fine level of detail so that you can see your columns properly. Again, it's still the same. Go to structure, click on the beam. This is steel, so if you don't find it here, let me check. You can see that I just have IPEs. I don't have the steel beam that I'm looking for, so I'll need to load. So let's check, where are we? This is steel. Are these columns or beams? This is structure column. So I need to keep on going back. I go to my library and I want to find structural framing, and I want to find steel. Now you get the whole point. Now you can pick what you want. Maybe I go to British Standard and I'll go to universal beam and open it. Now I want to find something like 203. Maybe I'll pick this one. You can even add multiple by just holding maybe shift or control. You can add multiple and click on open. Right, now you can load it from here. You see that you're going to see what you want. I'll pick this one and you can now zoom in. I'm just using a wheel on my mouse. Make sure that you pick line, and now you can just pick from the center and continue adding. Now chain is selected, so I can always go ahead and keep on clicking, sorry, escape. If I want to add on grids, I can do that. Just click there. Let me select these, release the mouse. It's just going to connect where the columns are, and just click on finish. Go to my 3D view, and how cool is this? You have the columns on top. Okay, now let's try to add some bracings. Now I have to pay attention here. To add the bracings, you need to identify where you want to add your bracings. If I just go to level 4, let's assume that I want to have my bracings right here. Okay, so now this is the technique that you use. You just need to go to view, then click on elevation and click on framing elevation. You just want to move your work plane to sit right here, okay, so that the bracings can sit on this one. So just click right there. You are going to see this elevation marker. Right click and cancel, and now you can double click this head quickly. Okay, once you do that, just make sure that you change to fine level of detail. Now you have this box which you can select and hold your left mouse and drag it to just expand it. Hold your left mouse and drag all the way until you see the full frame. Okay, so now you can easily create your bracings here. Now you can just go to structure and pick a beam, or you can even use the brace. Okay, let's use the brace. I'll click there, and now I can find the member that I want to use for my bracing. This is steel. You see that maybe it's not here, so you have to load it. Okay, so which folder is this? This is steel. I'll go back here, structural framing, so I'm in the right folders. So I'll go to steel once again. Go back once again. There's something that I've seen. This one has to be maybe light gauge steel. Open it. Now you can pick what you want. Maybe let me use an angle. I'll go back. So I'll go to steel and I'll go to British and I want an angle. L equal angle and open. Maybe let me just pick this one here and open it. Okay, so you see that it's right there. Right now, pick a line, and now maybe your bracing, you want it to start from this point up to maybe that point. You also want to pick it from this point up to that point. Right click and cancel. Let's go to our 3D view. You can see that now you have that particular bracing. Okay, so now if you want to copy the bracing on the other end, you can simply select this one, hold Control, select the bracing. Let me go to level 4. The bracing is still selected, as you can see in the background, and I can maybe just use copy. Now copy is right here, or CO on your keyboard, and you can just click this point, then take it to this one and take it to that one, and click on modify to escape. Go to your 3D view and you see that the bracings are right there. So you can see that we have our complete model. Now quickly, let's see how we can create some maybe general arrangement drawing and also place it on our sheets very quickly. Right, so now I'll just prepare level 1 and also maybe one framing and add it to our sheets. Maybe let me start with the foundation. So I'll go to top of footing right here. Okay, now when you are here, you just want to clean up your view. So you just need to come under the extents and activate the crop view right here so that you can have the crop view and the crop region visible. So these you can read by just putting the cursor there and just drag it so that you read what is there. So you have that outer box, then select on it and just drag it, select on it, drag it. You are just trying to clean up your detail so that it can be neat when you place it on your sheets. Now you don't want to see this one. Maybe what you can do, you can just select on it just like that, then right click and hide in view by elements. All right, so the view is almost ready. I'll just click it there. Now what do you need to add? Let me activate the thick lines. Okay, now you can start adding your dimensions. Now these can be turned on even this side by just clicking there. You see that little box, you just click on it. If you want to turn these on both sides, okay, so we have it like that. You can do the same on the other. Now to add dimensions is simple. Just go to annotate and click on align dimension. Of course, there are properties inside which I don't want to talk about now, but if you want a lesson on that, tell me. We're just going to use the defaults. So once you click on dimension, click on aligned, and now by default we're using a 2.5 millimeter. That is the size for our dimension, and you can just add those dimensions quickly. Place it there. Click this one. Oh, sorry. Click this dimension, this one, and this one, and just add it where I want it to be. Okay, if you want the inner ones, you can just, add them like that. Click, then pick this one and this one, and you can also just click just in that simple way. All right, now let's assume that this one is done. Maybe just want to place it on your sheet. You can remove the outer box by clicking this one here. Crop region visible, it will disappear like that. Now let's also prepare another view which is at level. Let me just go to south. We see which one, maybe level 1. So I'll just open level 1. It's already here. And now we do the same. Just want to clean up the detail. So select this and just drag it, select this and drag it, select that box, hold it and just drag it, and do the same on this one, drag it. Okay. All right, now I just want to delete this one, span direction. I can just delete it from there. Okay, now we see that we have the floor and the beams. If I don't want to see the floor, just the beams, I can select the floor, then right click and hide in view by element so that I can see the beams the way you're seeing them right there. Okay, now I also don't want to see this one. Right click, hide in view by elements. Perfect. You can proceed with the dimensions, click on annotate, align dimensions, and just have those dimensions by just clicking and place it here. Then we can have the outer dimension if you want. You can see that it snaps like that so that you can perfectly space them there. Also this one, and continue like that. I'll start it here. The final one is going to snap right there and click. Now let's also annotate the beams here. We are going to use a very, very simple procedure. Just go to annotate. Then we have beam annotations. Click on it. Now pay attention here. You just want all the beams in current view to be annotated. Before I do that, I'm going to activate remove existing beam annotations. Now, let me just check the annotation tags that I have here. Okay, so if I just click this one, you see that we have structural framing tag. This is the one we want to use, and you can expand it. You see that we can use this one or the boxed one. Okay, let me use just the standard tag and just click on OK. Now, where do you want to place your tag? Either at the top or at the bottom, or even on the sides. So you can add it here on the edges. None here. There is none here because I don't want to add it on the edge. Even there. So if I click here, let me put none because I don't want to add it at the bottom. I just want to add it in the center. Now click on settings. Okay, so change this one to this option. Let me just put a 0. Okay, it's just the spacing. I just want it to be almost touching the beam there. So put a 0 and just click on OK. Now I've selected the framing tag and click on OK. So just that click, you are going to have all those tags. Remember how I was adding the millimeters and all these sizes. As you can see, how cool is this? Now, if I just remove that outer box, this view is ready for placement on our sheets. Now, let's see how we can place our views on our sheets. We have level 1 and the top of footing, okay, which is right here. So you need to come to the project browser right here. Let me minimize the families. These can be expanded, these categories. Now we have a category called sheets. Click on the sheets. Okay, you don't have any subcategories within there because you don't have any sheets specified. So you can either go to view. Okay, we should have the sheets here. Now, sometimes I just like using the sheets here. Just click there and right click on the sheets. You can click a new sheet. You can create there. But if we go to view, please don't disappoint me. Where are the sheets? I like using those. Shortcuts. Okay, I'm lost here, but the sheets is somewhere here. So I'll just use this same option by just going to sheets, right click and click on new sheet. Okay. So now from here, you see that you can use, let me just use A1 metric again. You can load there and just go back. It's still the same libraries here. Okay. So I'll go to the UK and you see that we have title blocks. Double click here and you can now, maybe if you want to load A3, you can select on it and click on open. Now you see that we also have A3 right here. Let me actually use this one and click on open. You notice here that now the sheets, I can expand it and you see that that is the sheet from here. And let me add the two views. Now the two views, it was top of footing. Just select on it and hold your left mouse. I'm dragging and release your mouse. You can see it floats and you can place it right there and click outside. Now, if you want to shorten this line, click the viewport, the box there, and now hold your left mouse the edge and drag it like that. We also have another view that was level 1. Click once, hold your left mouse and drag it here and release. Let's hope it's going to fit. Yes, it will. Then just click it there. Click outside, click this view, then hold your left mouse and drag it up to somewhere there. So you see that we have those two views. Now, if I just want to move this one, I can select on it and just drag it like that. Select this one and just drag like this one. I think we have done a lot. The other thing that we can do maybe is now to print this one maybe to PDF. And if you want maybe to explain more on that, please comment there. So thank you very much for watching. So as you can see, we have the views, we have the 3D views, and this is how you can quickly get started in Revit.